back, GrimFace Warriors. You are the black sheep, the ones who refuse to follow the herd, the ones determined to rise above the noise and take control of your destiny. If you're here, it's because you're ready to learn, ready to fight, and ready to dominate the game they never taught you to play. To our returning warriors, welcome home. You know what we're about: empowerment, resilience, and mastering the rules they've tried to keep hidden. And to those of you joining us for the first time, this is your call to action. Hit that subscribe button and step into the GrimFace movement. Together, we're unlocking the knowledge, the power, and the mindset to break free from the system that was built to keep us down. Today, we're tapping into the wisdom of one of the greatest financial minds of all time, Warren Buffett. His lessons go far beyond the stock market. They're about mastering yourself, understanding the game, and building a legacy that lasts. This isn't the watered-down knowledge they feed you in schools. This is the truth, raw and unapologetic, delivered to those who are ready to hear it. Over the course of this video, we'll revisit lessons that will sharpen your mind and your strategy. The ruthless discipline of frugality, the unstoppable power of compounding, the clarity of staying rational in chaos, and the unshakable strength of integrity. These aren't just concepts. They're weapons for those who dare to use them. We are here to rise together, to make the knowledge they've hidden from us available to everyone willing to listen. This is more than financial education. This is a movement. This is GrimFace. Let's begin. Lesson 1. The power of compounding. Let me tell you about a snowball. A small, insignificant clump of snow, packed tight, rolling down a hill. At first, it grows slowly. It gains a little more snow, a little more weight, inch by inch. It looks weak, unimpressive, almost laughable. But don't be fooled by its humble beginnings, because as it continues to roll, something extraordinary begins to happen. It gains momentum, mass, speed, and force. By the time it reaches the bottom, that tiny, unremarkable ball of snow has transformed into a force of nature, unstoppable, undeniable, and immense. This is the power of compounding. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, understood this truth better than most. He began his journey young, not because he wanted fast wealth, but because he understood a fundamental principle. Time is your greatest ally. He started small, rolling his snowball through the fields of patience, discipline, and persistence. Over decades, that snowball grew into an empire. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was the relentless force of compounding, working silently, invisibly, and relentlessly in his favor. But here's the secret. Compounding isn't confined to the world of money. It's a law of life itself. It governs everything you do: your relationships, your reputation, your knowledge. Every small act, every consistent effort, every decision you make is like adding a layer to your snowball. It may seem like nothing at first, but over time, those layers create something massive, something unstoppable. In your relationships, every genuine act of kindness, every moment of integrity builds trust and loyalty. Over time, you forge connections that are unbreakable. In your reputation, every promise kept, every standard upheld compounds into respect and influence. And in your knowledge, every book read, every skill practiced, every failure learned from accumulates into wisdom and mastery. But here's the dark truth. Compounding doesn't care whether you use it for growth or destruction. If you neglect your health, ignore your relationships, or indulge in bad habits, those choices compound too. The small daily mistakes, over time, become mountains of regret. The snowball doesn't stop rolling. It only grows heavier with the weight of your inaction or poor decisions. So ask yourself, what snowball are you building today? Are you creating momentum toward your goals? Or are you compounding excuses, doubts, and failures into a massive burden? The clock is ticking, and compounding rewards the long game. But the long game is ruthless. It rewards consistency and punishes hesitation. You want greatness? Then plant the seeds today. Invest in yourself relentlessly. Your time, your energy, your discipline. Keep rolling your snowball, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem right now. Stay patient. Stay consistent. Over time, the force of compounding will transform that tiny effort into monumental results. But remember this: the snowball doesn't roll itself. You must push it. Through doubt, through fear, through pain. While others give up, while others chase shortcuts, you keep rolling. Because you see what they don't. You understand the power that lies in those small, invisible victories. You know that the most powerful forces in life are silent, gradual, and unstoppable. So start today. Build your snowball. And let the relentless power of compounding carry you to heights you never dreamed possible. One small act at a time. One relentless push at a time. Until you stand at the bottom of that mountain, unstoppable, undeniable, and immense. Lesson 2. Focus on value investing. In the dark, chaotic storm of the financial markets, there exists a truth that few dare to embrace. A principle so profound, yet so overlooked. It separates those who are slaves to the system from those who command it. This is the philosophy of value investing, the cornerstone of the wealth built by Warren Buffett, a man who learned to see past the noise and uncover the truth buried beneath the surface. Value investing is not about trends, hype, or chasing the crowd. It is about clarity, patience, and discipline. It is about seeing what others are too blind to notice. You don't buy stocks. You buy businesses. You don't chase prices. You hunt value. And you don't gamble with emotions. You calculate with logic. The masses are seduced by the shiny lights of market trends. They rush to follow the herd, driven by fear and greed, buying into companies they don't understand and selling in panic when the tide shifts. They are the puppets, their strings pulled by the whims of the market. But you are not like them. You are the one who sees the strings. You are the one who cuts them. Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, taught us a lesson that echoes in the depths of every successful investor's mind. Focus on the intrinsic value. The essence of a business lies not in its stock price, but in its fundamentals, its earnings, assets, and potential for long-term growth. The market is a manic-depressive creature, swinging wildly between euphoria and despair. But value? Value is steady. Value is truth. Buffett mastered this truth. He adopted Graham's philosophy and made it his weapon. He ignored the noise, the headlines, the short-term fluctuations. Instead, he hunted for businesses that were undervalued, companies with strong fundamentals, solid leadership, and enduring potential. He bought them not as stocks to trade, but as businesses to own. He saw the cracks in the system and exploited them with precision. And now, you must do the same. You must learn to look beyond the surface. Stop chasing trends. Stop trying to time the market. Instead, focus on finding value in the chaos. When you invest, think as if you're buying the entire business. Would you want to own this company outright? Would you trust it to withstand the storms of time? If the answer is no, then walk away. If the answer is yes, then act with conviction. But here's the catch. Value investing is not for the impatient. It is not for the weak. It requires discipline, the kind that cuts through fear and greed like a blade. It demands that you stand firm while others panic, that you see opportunity where others see ruin. It requires a mindset that is as ruthless as it is calculated. Ask yourself, Are you willing to walk alone while others run in the opposite direction? Are you ready to buy when others sell? To stay calm while others crumble? Are you prepared to look past the illusion of price and see the reality of value? The world is full of noise, full of distractions. The market will try to tempt you, scare you, deceive you. But your focus must remain unshaken. Focus on the business, not the stock. Focus on the fundamentals, not the trends. Focus on the value, not the price. This is not just an investing strategy. It is a way of life. It is a mindset that teaches you to find value in everything, to cut through the superficial and uncover the essence of what truly matters. In your investments, in your relationships, in your goals, always focus on the value. Remember this: the market is irrational. It will offer you incredible opportunities disguised as disasters. It will tempt you to follow the crowd into oblivion. But you are not here to follow. You are here to lead. You are here to hunt for value, to see what others cannot, to build what others dare not. So step into the storm. Ignore the noise. Focus on the value. And when the dust settles, you will stand victorious. Not as a gambler, not as a speculator, but as a master of the game, a hunter of value, a builder of legacies, a force to be reckoned with. Lesson 3. Long-term thinking. Patience. Discipline. These words are whispered in the halls of greatness, but mocked by those who chase illusions. In a world driven by instant gratification and reckless speculation, long-term thinking is a weapon forged in the fires of clarity, reason, and self-mastery. And it is this weapon that separates those who merely survive from those who dominate. Warren Buffett didn't build his empire by gambling on fleeting trends or chasing the highs and lows of the market. No, his power lies in a mindset most fear to embrace: the ruthless discipline of long-term thinking. Buffett understood that true wealth, true success, is not a game of speed, but of endurance. It's a slow, deliberate march, a battle won through strategy, patience, and the ability to see beyond the chaos of the present. The masses scramble to time the market, desperate to predict its every twist and turn. They move like headless beasts, driven by greed one moment and fear the next. They speculate, they gamble, they chase the mirage of quick riches, and they fall. Over and over again, they fall. But you are not like them. You don't play their game because you know their game is rigged. You are here to master the long game. You are here to build something that lasts. Buffett's strategy is as simple as it is powerful. Invest in what you understand. Seek out businesses with predictable and sustainable earnings. Ignore the noise. Ignore the panic. And hold. Hold on to those investments with unyielding patience. While others sell in fear, you stand firm. While others leap from one opportunity to another, you dig your roots deep into the ground. This isn't just about investments. This is about life. Long-term thinking isn't a strategy. It's a philosophy. It means understanding that the most valuable things in life are not built overnight. Relationships, careers, knowledge, health, all of it requires time, effort, and the discipline to resist the lure of instant results. Ask yourself, are you willing to wait for what you truly want? Can you resist the temptation of shortcuts and distractions? Can you stay the course when the world around you is screaming for you to abandon it? Because that is what it takes. That is the price of greatness. But here's the truth. Most won't tell you. The long game is brutal. It requires sacrifice. It demands patience in the face of uncertainty, discipline in the face of chaos. It will test you. It will force you to confront your fears, your doubts, your weaknesses. It will demand that you rise above the noise, that you trust in your strategy even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. And yet, it is in this brutality that the magic happens. It is in the darkness of patience and discipline that the seeds of greatness are sown. Over time, those seeds grow into unshakable roots, into towering trees that no storm can bring down. Over time, the power of long-term thinking transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. So when the market panics, when the world doubts, when the noise becomes deafening, remember this: success is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It is a relentless march forward, one disciplined step at a time. It is about seeing the end game while others are blinded by the present. It is about holding firm when the weak let go. Embrace the patience, embrace the discipline, master the long game. Because in the end, it is not the fast who win. It is the relentless, the disciplined, the unshakable. It is those who understand that true power, true wealth, and true success belong to those who think not in moments, but in lifetimes. You are not here for the short-lived glory of the present. You are here to build a legacy. So think long-term, act with purpose, and stay the course. While the world burns itself out chasing illusions, you will rise above it all, untouchable, unstoppable, and eternal. Lesson 4. The importance of reputation. Reputation is the shadow that follows you through life, a reflection of every decision, every action, every word you've ever spoken. It is the currency that cannot be bought, the armor that cannot be forged overnight. It takes a lifetime to build, brick by brick, choice by choice, but only a single moment of weakness to shatter into dust. Warren Buffett understood this better than anyone. He lived and conducted his business as if every deal, every handshake, every decision would be the one that defined him. Because he knew the brutal truth. Without trust, you are nothing. Without credibility, you are a phantom in the marketplace, a whisper in the wind, easily dismissed, easily forgotten. Reputation is the most fragile, and yet the most powerful asset you will ever own. It is built not through grand gestures or empty promises, but through consistency and integrity. It is built by doing what you say you will do, by holding yourself to a standard that others dare not reach for. It is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the easy path tempts you and you choose to stay true. But here's the dark side of this truth. Reputation is unforgiving. One lie, one betrayal, one misstep, and it can all come crashing down. All the years you spent building trust can evaporate in an instant, leaving you with nothing but regret. And the world? It will not care. It will not wait for your excuses or explanations. Once broken, trust is almost impossible to rebuild. This is why reputation must be protected with a ferocity that borders on obsession. Every decision you make must be measured against this question. Does it honor the name I am building? Does it reflect the values I claim to stand for? Because the name you carry is not just yours. It is your legacy. It is the mark you leave on this world, the imprint that will outlive you. Trust and credibility are non-negotiable for long-term success, not just in business, but in life. People do not follow those they cannot trust. They do not invest in those they cannot believe in. Your reputation is the foundation upon which everything else is built. And if that foundation is cracked, no amount of skill, charm, or ambition will save you. So how do you protect it? With vigilance, with discipline, with a relentless commitment to integrity. Be the person who keeps their word even when it hurts. Be the person who chooses honesty over convenience, principle over profit. Do not compromise, not even once. Because the world is watching, and every choice you make is another brick in the fortress of your reputation, or another crack in its walls. But remember this, Reputation is not about perfection. It is about consistency. You will make mistakes. You will stumble. But how you respond to those moments will define you. Own your failures. Take responsibility. Make amends. And then rise stronger, wiser, and more resolute than before. Reputation is power. It opens doors that would otherwise remain locked. It builds alliances that would otherwise be out of reach. It shields you from attacks that would otherwise bring you down. But power is not given. It is earned. And it is earned through sacrifice, through discipline, through an unwavering commitment to being the person you claim to be. So guard your reputation as if your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. In a world full of noise, deception, and betrayal, let your name be the one that stands above the rest, untarnished, unshakable, and undeniable. Let your reputation be your legacy. Let it be the sword and shield that carry you to greatness. And above all, never forget. While it takes a lifetime to build, it only takes one moment to destroy. Choose wisely, every single time. Lesson 5. The Circle of Competence. In this world of endless possibilities, there is one fatal mistake that too many make. They believe they can be everything, know everything, conquer everything. They stretch themselves thin, reaching for fields they don't understand, chasing opportunities they aren't equipped to handle. And in doing so, they invite chaos, failure, and ruin into their lives. Warren Buffett doesn't play that game. He mastered a principle that most will never grasp: the Circle of Competence. It's a simple concept, yet it is the cornerstone of his empire. Buffett doesn't stray into the unknown. He doesn't gamble on what he doesn't understand. Instead, he thrives in the realm he knows best, within the boundaries of his expertise. And it is within those boundaries that he dominates. What is your circle of competence? What is the space where your knowledge is unmatched, your skills sharp, and your instincts honed? Because here's the truth. Outside that circle, you are weak. Outside that circle, you are vulnerable, grasping in the dark, hoping for luck to guide your way. And luck? It is a fickle, cruel mistress. She is not to be trusted. Staying within your circle of competence is not a limitation. It is a weapon. When you know your strengths and your limitations, you gain clarity. You see the battlefield for what it is, not what you wish it to be. You avoid the traps that lure others into ruin. You make decisions rooted in understanding, not in speculation. This is how you reduce risk. This is how you make sound, calculated moves. This is how you win. But make no mistake, this requires humility. It requires the courage to admit that you don't know everything, that there are battles you're not equipped to fight. And this humility is rare, because the world will pressure you to step outside your circle. It will tempt you with opportunities that seem too good to be true. It will mock you for staying disciplined, for not chasing the shiny distractions. Let them mock. Let them chase. Because you are not here to impress the masses. You are here to build something that lasts. And that means staying true to what you know, where you excel, where you are unshakable. But don't mistake staying within your circle for stagnation. Your circle of competence is not fixed. It can grow. You can expand it through relentless learning, through disciplined study, through calculated risk. But this growth must be earned. You cannot fake expertise. You cannot pretend to understand something you don't. That pretense will be your downfall. So here is your challenge. Define your circle. Know it. Master it. Guard it. And then slowly, deliberately, expand it. Learn, study, fail, and rise again. But never step into battle unarmed. Never pretend to be more than you are. Because the market, the world, life itself, they are ruthless. They will punish arrogance. They will exploit ignorance. They will show no mercy to those who overreach. The circle of competence is your fortress. It is where you are strongest. It is where you cannot be defeated. Stay within it, and you will thrive. Stray too far, and you will fall. So ask yourself, what do you truly know? Where are you truly powerful? Focus on that. Hone that. Master that. And when the world tries to pull you into the unknown, remember this: you are not here to gamble. You are here to conquer. One move at a time. One victory at a time. Within the circle, you are unstoppable. Outside of it, you are just another fool waiting to be devoured. Choose wisely. Lesson 6. Simplicity in decision-making. The world loves complexity. It glorifies intricate plans, convoluted strategies, and the illusion of sophistication. It celebrates those who complicate the simple, who overthink and overanalyze, mistaking noise for wisdom. But the truth, the cold, unforgiving truth, is that complexity is the enemy of success. Complexity breeds confusion, hesitation, and ultimately, failure. Warren Buffett doesn't play that game. He doesn't drown in the chaos. Instead, he cuts through it with ruthless simplicity. He makes decisions that are sharp, precise, and deliberate. No excess, no distractions, just clarity, logic, and execution. You see, the market thrives on panic and overreaction. Every day, investors scramble to react to the latest news, the newest trend, the slightest shift in numbers. They think that the more moves they make, the more decisions they force, the more successful they'll be. But this frenzy only leads to one outcome: destruction. The more you move, the more mistakes you make. The more noise you chase, the further you drift from the signal. Buffett knows better. He doesn't react to every ripple in the water. He waits. He watches. And then, with precision and conviction, he strikes. He believes in making a few strong decisions. Decisions that are grounded in logic, in understanding, in simplicity. And then, he lets those decisions play out. No second guessing. No frantic adjustments. Just the quiet confidence of a man who knows that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. But make no mistake, simplicity is not easy. It demands discipline, focus, and an unwavering commitment to clarity. Simplicity requires you to filter out the noise, to silence the distractions, to ignore the temptations of complexity. Simplicity demands that you trust in your process, even when the world is screaming for you to overcomplicate it. In your own life, ask yourself, are you overthinking your decisions? Are you drowning in options, paralyzed by analysis, chasing every new possibility without ever committing to a course of action? If so, you are setting yourself up to fail. Because complexity is not strength, it is weakness. It is hesitation, disguised as strategy. Simplicity, on the other hand, is brutal. It forces you to confront the essentials, to strip away the excess, to focus only on what truly matters. It requires you to make fewer moves, but to make them count. It requires you to trust yourself, to trust your knowledge, to trust the logic of your decisions. So here's the truth you must embrace. You don't need to make 1,000 decisions to succeed. You don't need to react to every twist and turn of the world. You need clarity. You need patience. And above all, you need the courage to act when the moment is right, and to stay still when it is not. Simplicity is a weapon. Use it to cut through the noise. Use it to silence the doubts. Use it to focus your mind and sharpen your actions. Make a few strong, deliberate decisions. Commit to them. Execute them. And then let the world do what it will. Because while others are consumed by their own chaos, you will stand firm, unshaken, and unstoppable. You will not be swept away by the tides of complexity. You will not falter under the weight of overthinking. You will rise above it all, guided by the relentless power of simplicity. Remember, complexity is the refuge of the weak. Simplicity is the weapon of the strong. Master it, wield it, and let it carve your path to greatness. Lesson 7. Frugality and discipline. In a world that worships excess, where wealth is flaunted and extravagance is mistaken for power, there is a truth most cannot see. A truth that Warren Buffett has lived by his entire life. True power is not found in what you spend, but in what you control. Frugality is not weakness, it is strength. Discipline is not restriction, it is freedom. Buffett, one of the wealthiest men alive, could have anything he desires. Mansions, yachts, private jets. And yet, he lives modestly, grounded by the values that built his empire. He does not let wealth own him. He owns it. His choices are deliberate, measured, and guided by a single principle: value over extravagance. What is frugality really? It is not about deprivation. It is about clarity. It is about cutting away the unnecessary to focus on what truly matters. It is about rejecting the need to impress, to prove, to compete. Frugality is a weapon, sharp, precise, and devastatingly effective. It keeps you lean. It keeps you disciplined. And most importantly, it keeps you free. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Frugality requires strength. It demands the kind of discipline that most will never master. It means saying no to the temptations that lure others into debt, into stress, into a life of chasing status instead of substance. It means standing firm in a world that is constantly trying to sell you more that you don't need, more that will weigh you down, more that will rob you of your freedom. Discipline is the foundation of this strength. Without it, frugality is hollow. Discipline is what keeps you focused, what keeps you from veering off course. It is what allows you to say no to the short-term pleasures that destroy long-term gains. Buffett didn't build his wealth by indulging in every whim. He built it by making deliberate choices, by understanding that every dollar saved is a dollar that can work for him. Every dollar not wasted is a brick in the fortress of his financial empire. Ask yourself, do you own your money, or does it own you? Are you in control of your desires, or are you a slave to them? Because here's the dark truth. Most people are prisoners. They are trapped by their need to consume, to impress, to chase an illusion of wealth while drowning in debt. They trade freedom for things they don't need, for fleeting moments of satisfaction that leave them emptier than before. But you must be different. You must embrace frugality not as a restriction, but as a weapon. You must wield discipline not as a burden, but as your greatest ally. Every dollar you save, every unnecessary expense you reject, is a step closer to freedom. It is a step closer to the life you truly want. A life not dictated by debt, by stress, by the expectations of others. Frugality is not about living small. It is about thinking big. It is about building wealth, building power, building a life that cannot be shaken by the whims of the world. It is about prioritizing what truly matters over what merely distracts. So live modestly, spend deliberately, focus on value, not extravagance, and let the world chase its illusions while you build something real. Let them burn their wealth on things that don't matter while you invest in what does. Let them drown in their need to impress while you rise above, untouchable, unstoppable, and free. Because in the end, it is not the one who spends the most who wins. It is the one who controls the most. Money, time, freedom. Embrace frugality, master discipline, and build a life so powerful, so unshakable, that no one, Not even the world itself can take it from you. Lesson 8. Learn from mistakes. Failure. A word most fear, a shadow most flee from, a reality most pretend doesn't exist. But here's the truth. Failure is inevitable. It is the constant companion of every endeavor, every risk, every pursuit of greatness. You cannot outrun it. You cannot outsmart it. But you can use it. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest minds in the world of investing, does not deny his mistakes. He does not bury them in shame or hide them behind excuses. No, he confronts them, dissects them, and most importantly, learns from them. Mistakes, to him, are not the end. They are the beginning. They are the fire that forges stronger steel, the crucible in which wisdom is born. You see, failure is not your enemy. Ignorance is. Arrogance is. The refusal to see your mistakes for what they are, a ruthless, uncompromising teacher, is what will destroy you. Buffett understands this. He embraces failure as a necessary step on the path to mastery. Every misstep, every wrong decision, every loss is another lesson, another brick in the fortress of his resilience. But let's be clear, learning from mistakes is not easy. It requires humility, and humility is a rare and brutal virtue. It demands that you strip away your ego, that you face the raw truth of your flaws, your misjudgments, your blind spots. It demands that you take full responsibility, not for the outcome, but for the decisions that led you there. The world is full of people who never grow because they refuse to confront their failures. They blame the market. They blame circumstances. They blame everyone but themselves. And in doing so, they remain trapped, repeating the same mistakes, living the same cycles of mediocrity. You must not be like them. You must be ruthless in your self-awareness. You must turn your mistakes into stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What did I miss? What can I do better next time? And then, with unrelenting focus, apply those lessons. Refuse to let the same failure haunt you twice. But here's the dark truth. Growth through failure is painful. It strips you bare. It forces you to confront the worst parts of yourself. It is not a pleasant process. It is a crucible. But from that crucible, you emerge stronger, sharper, and more prepared for the battles ahead. Buffett's greatest strength is not his success. It is his ability to turn failure into fuel. He doesn't fear mistakes. He welcomes them, because he knows that every failure brings him closer to mastery. And you must do the same. Mistakes in investments, in relationships, in life, they are all teachers. Brutal, unforgiving, but necessary. They strip away the illusions you hold about yourself, forcing you to confront the reality of who you are and where you need to grow. They demand humility, but they reward it with wisdom. So the next time you fall, don't waste a second in denial or self-pity. Stand up, face the wreckage, and learn. Extract every lesson, no matter how painful, and let it sharpen you. Use it as fuel, as fire, as a weapon. Because the truth is, failure is inevitable, but mediocrity is a choice. You are not here to avoid mistakes. You are here to master them. You are here to rise above them. And with every failure, you will grow stronger, more resilient, more unstoppable. So embrace your mistakes, learn from them, and let them be the foundation of your greatness. Because in the end, it is not the absence of failure that defines you. It is how you rise from its ashes. Lesson 9. The role of relationships. In this ruthless world where ambition often blinds and greed consumes, there is a truth that many fail to recognize. You cannot conquer alone. The lone wolf may seem fearsome, but even it depends on the pack to survive the harshest winters. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest minds in history, knew this truth. His empire wasn't built on his brilliance alone. It was built on the foundation of unshakable relationships, partnerships forged in trust, respect, and mutual purpose. Buffett's relationship with Charlie Munger wasn't just a partnership. It was a weapon. Together, they amplified each other's strengths, challenged each other's weaknesses, and became an unstoppable force. Alone, they were exceptional. Together, they were invincible. But here's the hard truth. Relationships, the right ones, don't just happen. They are built, tested, and earned. Most people surround themselves with mediocrity, with those who flatter, who agree, who offer nothing but empty validation. And then they wonder why they fail, why they are stuck, why they never rise above the noise. You must be ruthless in choosing your circle. Surround yourself with people who sharpen your mind, who challenge your thinking, who push you to be better. Trust is not given. It is earned. Competence is not assumed. It is proven. The people in your life should not just support your vision. They should elevate it. They should bring clarity where there is confusion, strength where there is doubt, and resilience where there is weakness. Ask yourself, who stands beside you in the storm? Who challenges you when you're wrong? Who will fight with you, not for their gain, but for the sake of the mission? If your circle is filled with those who drag you down, who cling to comfort, who fear growth, cut them loose. This journey demands more. But remember, relationships are not about taking. They are about mutual growth. You don't just seek people who elevate you. You must elevate them in return. Trust is a two-way street. Respect is a mirror. If you want loyalty, competence, and honesty in others, you must embody those traits yourself. Relationships built on manipulation, deceit, or selfishness will crumble under the weight of their own lies. Relationships are investments, and like any investment, they require care, discipline, and commitment. Buffett didn't build partnerships by accident. He nurtured them, he valued them, he protected them. And when the time came, those relationships became the foundation of his empire. But let's not romanticize this truth. Building the right relationships is hard. It means cutting ties with those who poison your growth, no matter how familiar or comfortable they may feel. Lesson 10. The importance of passion. Passion. The word is often thrown around as if it were some kind of soft, fleeting feeling. But let me tell you the truth about passion. It is not a spark. It is not a whim. It is not some casual love for what you do. No. Passion is fire. It is relentless. It consumes everything in its path, driving you forward when every ounce of logic and comfort begs you to stop. Passion is obsession, and it is the fuel that separates the unstoppable from the ordinary. Warren Buffett doesn't invest because he has to. He doesn't do it because it's merely profitable. He does it because he lives for it. His passion for investing isn't a job. It's a calling, a force that has driven him through decades of market chaos, setbacks, and challenges. That passion has made him one of the greatest to ever walk this planet. And if you want to rise above the noise, if you want to escape mediocrity, you must find that same fire within yourself. But here's the truth. No one wants to tell you. Passion isn't easy. It's not about feeling good or finding a hobby you like. It's about dedicating yourself so fully, so obsessively, that the work becomes a part of you. It's about pouring everything you have into something, not because it's easy, but because you can't imagine not doing it. Passion is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who are ready to sacrifice, to bleed, to burn for what they love. Look at your life. Are you merely going through the motions? Are you clocking in and out, living for the weekends, chasing a paycheck, and wondering why you feel empty? If so, you're dying a slow death. Without passion, life becomes a dull, gray march toward nothingness. But with it, with that fire inside, you become unstoppable. Every obstacle becomes fuel. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every long night and early morning becomes a step closer to greatness. Passion is the difference between surviving and thriving. And don't think for a second that you can fake it. You can't force passion. It has to come from a place so deep inside you that it cannot be extinguished, no matter how hard life tries to snuff it out. You must find it. You must search your soul, rip away the excuses, the distractions, the lies, and ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What am I willing to sacrifice for? What would I fight for, even if no one believed in me? But passion alone is not enough. It must be paired with discipline. Buffett's love for investing wasn't just a feeling. It was an unrelenting pursuit. He studied, he practiced, he failed, and rose again. Passion is the spark, but discipline is the hammer that forges it into success. Without discipline, passion burns out. Without passion, discipline becomes drudgery. Together, they become unstoppable. You owe it to yourself to find your passion, and when you do, you owe it to yourself to honor it. Do not waste it. Do not let it die. Fan the flames, feed the fire, and when the world tells you to settle, to stop, to give up, let your passion scream louder. Let it be the force that propels you through the darkness, through the doubt, through the pain. Passion is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is essential. It is the driving force that sustains you when logic fails, when the odds are stacked against you, when everyone else has quit. Without passion, success is hollow. Without passion, life is meaningless. So find it, fight for it, and never let it go. Because when you live with passion, when you work with passion, when you burn with passion, you become unstoppable. And the world cannot ignore someone on fire. Let that be you. Let your passion light the path to a life that is not just successful, but extraordinary. Lesson 11. Philanthropy and legacy. What is wealth if not a weapon? A force that can shape the world, a tool that can carve your name into eternity, or let you die as just another forgettable face. Warren Buffett, a man who mastered the game of wealth, understood this truth. Money is not an end. It is a means. And its true power lies not in what you accumulate, but in what you leave behind. Legacy. The word tastes sweet to some and bitter to others. But let me tell you what it truly means. Legacy is what remains when you are gone. It is the impact you carve into the fabric of this world, the shadow you cast long after your body has turned to dust. It is not your possessions. It is not your trophies. It is the mark you leave on the lives of others, the ripple that grows into a wave long after you're gone. Buffett, in the later chapters of his life, committed the majority of his wealth to philanthropy. Not because he wanted applause, not because he needed validation, but because he understood something most never will. You cannot take it with you. Wealth hoarded is wealth wasted. Wealth is power, and power unused is power lost. But let me be clear. Philanthropy is not about pity. It is not about charity for the sake of feeling good. It is about wielding your resources like a sword, cutting through the rot, the injustice, the brokenness of this world. It is about building something greater than yourself, something that will outlast you, something that will make the world feel your presence long after you are gone. Ask yourself, what will you leave behind? What will the world remember you for? Will your life be a flicker, a meaningless spark that fades into the void? Or will it be a fire, a force so bright, so undeniable, that it lights the way for others? Building a legacy demands sacrifice. It demands that you think beyond yourself, beyond your ego, beyond the fleeting pleasures of today. It requires you to take what you've earned, what you fought for, and channel it into something that matters. Something that changes lives. Something that challenges the status quo. But here's the dark truth. Leaving a legacy is not for everyone. Most people cling to what they have, terrified of losing it, afraid of scarcity, afraid of death. They hoard their wealth, their time, their energy, thinking they can cheat the inevitable. But they can't. They will die, just like you, just like me. The difference is, they will leave nothing. No mark, no impact, no ripple. You must be different. You must rise above the fear of loss. You must see wealth, not just money, but your talents, your time, your influence, for what it truly is. A tool, a weapon, a force that can shape the world. Use it. Wield it. Build a legacy so powerful that even death cannot erase your name. Philanthropy is not about giving back. It's about giving forward. It's about planting seeds in fields you will never see, knowing that the forest you create will shelter generations to come. It's about aligning your power, your resources, your very existence with something greater than yourself. Buffett knew this. He knew that the true value of wealth is not in how much you have, but in what you do with it. And you must learn this too, because in the end, the cars, the houses, the trophies, they will fade. But your impact, your legacy, your fire, that will live on. So I ask you, what will you do with your power? Will you hoard it, afraid to lose it, letting it rot in the darkness? Or will you use it to ignite something greater? The choice is yours. And remember this, the clock is ticking. Wealth is fleeting. Life is finite. But a legacy, if you have the courage to build it, that is eternal. Lesson 12. Stay rational in emotional markets. Fear. Greed. These are the twin demons that rule the markets, the forces that drive men to ruin and destruction. They whisper lies into your ear, cloud your judgment, and turn the most rational mind into a desperate gambler. And yet, in the chaos they create, lies the greatest opportunity. If you have the discipline, the clarity, and the courage to seize it. Warren Buffett has mastered this truth. His empire was not built in times of calm. It was built in the storm, in the bloodbath, in the chaos when everyone else was running for the exits. His philosophy is brutal, unapologetic. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. But don't mistake this for simplicity. Remaining calm and rational in an emotional market is no easy task. It requires a level of self-control that most will never achieve. When the herd panics, when the headlines scream, doom, when the world seems to be collapsing, every fiber of your being will tell you to run, to sell, to give up. And that is precisely when you must stand your ground. The market feeds on emotion. It thrives on hysteria. The masses, driven by fear and greed, create waves of chaos that destroy wealth and opportunity in equal measure. They are slaves to their instincts, incapable of stepping back and seeing the bigger picture. And that is where the rational few, those who can detach themselves from the madness, rise to the top. Ask yourself, are you a slave to the market's emotions, or are you its master? Do you react to every swing, every downturn, every piece of bad news? Or do you see what others cannot? The opportunity hidden in the chaos, the value buried beneath the fear. When the market panics, it hands you gifts disguised as disasters. When others are selling in desperation, they create openings for you to buy, if you have the courage. When prices collapse, when the weak surrender, that is when the strong rise. Buffett knew this. He understood that the best opportunities come not in times of greed, but in times of fear, when the market is at its most irrational. But make no mistake, this is not for the faint of heart. To stay rational in emotional markets requires an iron will. It means shutting out the noise, silencing the panic, and trusting your strategy even when it feels like the world is crumbling around you. It means having the discipline to wait while others rush, to buy when others sell, to act when others freeze. Fear is contagious. Greed is intoxicating. Both will try to pull you into the herd, to strip you of your reason, and reduce you to a pawn in the market's game. But you must resist. You must rise above the noise. You must see what others cannot, and act when others will not. The market is a battlefield, and the irrational are the casualties. The rational, they are the conquerors. They move with purpose, with clarity, with the calm precision of a hunter stalking its prey. They are not driven by emotion. They drive the emotion of others to their advantage. So the next time the market swings wildly, the next time fear takes hold, remember this: chaos is not your enemy. Panic is not your downfall. They are your opportunities. While the masses run in terror, you will stand firm. While they sell at a loss, you will buy at a bargain. While they crumble under the weight of their emotions, you will rise above it all. Stay calm. Stay disciplined. Stay rational. Because in the end, it is not the emotional who win. It is the unshakable. It is those who can see through the fog of fear and greed, who act with clarity and purpose, who refuse to let the market dictate their fate. You are not here to follow the herd. You are here to lead, to dominate, to conquer. And when the storm passes, when the dust settles, it will be you who stands victorious, not because you avoided the chaos, but because you mastered it. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. And let the market's chaos become your greatest weapon. Lesson 13. The role of continuous learning. Knowledge is power, but not the shallow kind of power you see flaunted in public. The kind that whispers of fleeting fame, of short-term victories, of hollow achievements. No, true knowledge is a weapon, one that sharpens itself over time, one that compounds quietly in the shadows until it becomes unstoppable. Warren Buffett understood this. He didn't rise to the top through luck or shortcuts. He built his empire brick by brick, thought by thought, book by book. Buffett's greatest investment was never in stocks or businesses. It was in himself. A voracious reader, a relentless learner, he devoted hours every day to feeding his mind, sharpening his judgment, and expanding his understanding. Because he knew the secret that most ignore. Knowledge is the only wealth that cannot be taken from you. It is the foundation upon which all success is built. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Learning is not easy. It is not glamorous. It doesn't give you immediate rewards or quick victories. It's a grind. It's a discipline. It's a long, unrelenting journey into the depths of your ignorance, forcing you to confront how little you truly know. Most people don't have the stomach for it. They settle. They plateau. They stop growing, and they wonder why they are left behind. You must be different. You must embrace the grind. Because learning isn't just about acquiring facts. It's about reshaping the way you think, the way you see the world, the way you approach every decision. It is about building an arsenal of knowledge that compounds over time, just like Buffett's investments. Every book you read, every skill you master, every lesson you absorb is another layer of armor, another weapon in your arsenal, another step toward mastery. But here's the dark side. Continuous learning requires sacrifice. It demands that you choose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction. While others waste their time on meaningless entertainment, you must be feeding your mind, While others let their skills stagnate, you must be sharpening yours. Every day, every moment is a choice. Will you move forward, or will you fall behind? The truth is, most people stop learning the moment they leave school. They think they've done enough, that they've earned the right to coast. But the world is ruthless. It punishes stagnation. It rewards those who evolve, adapt, and stay ahead. If you are not growing, you are dying. There is no middle ground. Ask yourself, what are you doing to grow today? What are you reading? What are you studying? What new skills are you mastering? And if your answer is nothing, then you are failing. You are choosing mediocrity over greatness. Buffett sees knowledge as a compounding asset, one that builds over time, one that becomes more valuable with each passing year. But compounding only works if you are consistent. You cannot learn in fits and starts. You cannot grow through half-hearted effort. You must commit, relentlessly, daily, without excuse or exception. Because in the end, the one who knows more wins. The one who understands the game better, who sees the angles others miss, who can predict the moves of their competitors before they make them. That is the person who dominates. That is the person who shapes the world instead of being shaped by it. So, read, study, question, everything. Feed your mind with knowledge the way you would feed your body with fuel. And never stop. Because the moment you stop learning is the moment you begin to die. Continuous learning is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the foundation of power, the root of resilience, the key to mastering every challenge you face. Embrace it. Let it consume you. And as the world stagnates, as others settle for good enough, you will rise above them, armed with a mind that cannot be broken, a vision that cannot be shaken, and a knowledge so vast that it bends the world to your will. This is the role of continuous learning. It is the grind. It is the sacrifice. And it is the path to greatness. Walk it, or be left behind. The choice is yours. Lesson 14. The balance between work and life. There's a lie we are all told, a dangerous, insidious lie. Success requires sacrificing everything. It whispers that if you want to rise above, to achieve greatness, you must abandon your personal life, sever your connections, and become a slave to the grind. But let me tell you the truth. Sacrificing everything isn't strength. It's foolishness. True success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you sustain. And without balance, everything you build will eventually collapse. Even Warren Buffett, a man consumed by his love for investing, understood this. He is not only a titan of wealth, but a man who has struggled, like all of us, with the delicate dance between ambition and humanity. The book of his life reveals not just his triumphs, but also the toll that an unbalanced life can take. And it serves as a stark reminder. If you lose yourself, your relationships, your values in the pursuit of success, you have gained nothing. Balance is not weakness. It is not complacency. Balance is strategy. It is understanding that work and life are not opponents. They are allies. They feed each other. A life devoid of personal meaning will leave your professional achievements hollow. And a career consumed by chaos will suffocate the joy that makes life worth living. But make no mistake, achieving balance is not easy. It requires ruthless clarity about what truly matters. It means stripping away the noise, the distractions, the unnecessary obligations, and aligning your time with your values. It means asking yourself the hard questions. Why am I working so hard? What am I trying to build? And who will be there to share it with me when I'm done? Most people don't ask these questions. They bury themselves in work, chasing goals that aren't even their own. They grind themselves into the ground, alienating their families, their friends, and ultimately, themselves. They reach the top of the mountain only to realize they're alone, that their success is a prison, not a victory. You must not make this mistake. You must learn to set boundaries, to say no to what doesn't serve you, to prioritize what truly matters. Balance isn't about splitting your time evenly between work and life. It's about aligning your actions with your values. It's about ensuring that your professional goals and personal life don't compete, but complement each other. Think of balance as a foundation. Without it, everything you build, your career, your wealth, your relationships, will crumble under its own weight. Balance keeps you grounded. It keeps you sane. It ensures that you are not just surviving the grind, but thriving in every aspect of your life. But let's be honest. Balance requires discipline. It requires the courage to step back from work when necessary, even when the pressure to stay is overwhelming. It requires the humility to admit that success means nothing if it costs you your humanity. And it requires the wisdom to know that true wealth is not measured in dollars, but in time, in relationships, in the legacy you leave behind. Buffett didn't just build financial wealth, he built a life. And yes, he stumbled. Yes, he faced challenges with work-life balance. But his story reminds us that it's never too late to realign, to refocus, to ensure that the life you're building is one you'll actually want to live. So I ask you, what are you sacrificing in the name of success? Is it worth it? Will the empire you're building bring you joy? Or will it leave you hollow? Will the people you love stand by you at the finish line? Or will they be long gone, casualties of your ambition? The grind will tempt you to forget these questions. The world will glorify your sacrifices. But the truth remains. Balance is not the enemy of greatness. It is its foundation. Without it, you are not building success. You are building a prison. Align your work with your values. Protect the relationships that matter. Prioritize what brings you fulfillment, not just in your career, but in your life. Because in the end, success is not about how far you climb. It's about what you build along the way and who you become in the process. Work hard, dream big, but never forget this. Life is not meant to be endured. It is meant to be lived. And true greatness is not found in sacrifice alone, but in the harmony of a life well lived, a life balanced between ambition and meaning. This is the path to fulfillment. Walk it wisely. Lesson 15. Integrity and ethics. Integrity. Ethics. Words that are easy to say but far harder to live by. In a world driven by greed, shortcuts, and deception, they are often discarded like dead weight, seen as obstacles to success rather than the foundation of it. But let me tell you the truth. Without integrity, you are nothing. Without ethics, every victory you achieve is hollow. Every empire you build is destined to crumble. Warren Buffett understood this. His success was not just a result of sharp intellect or brilliant strategy. It was built on a foundation of trust, of honesty, of unwavering integrity. He didn't just choose businesses that could deliver profits. He chose people he could trust. He didn't just build wealth. He built a reputation. And that reputation is worth more than all the money in the world. You see, the world is full of people who think they can cheat their way to the top. They lie, they manipulate, they betray. And yes, some of them succeed, for a while. But their victories are fleeting. Their empires are built on sand. Because the truth always comes out. And when it does, it destroys everything they've built. Integrity is not a weakness. It is not a hindrance. It is the strongest weapon you can wield. It earns you trust. It builds loyalty. It creates a foundation so unshakable that no storm, no betrayal, no market crash can bring you down. When people know you are honest, when they know you are trustworthy, they will stand by you. They will fight for you. They will invest in you, not just with their money, but with their time, their loyalty, their belief. But make no mistake, integrity is not easy. It demands strength. It demands discipline. It demands that you choose the harder path, the longer road, the decision that won't always benefit you in the short term. It means saying no to opportunities that compromise your values. It means standing firm when the world tries to pull you into the shadows. Integrity is a choice, and it's a choice you must make every single day. Every deal you strike, every promise you make, every action you take is a reflection of who you are. You don't just build trust overnight, it's earned piece by piece through consistency, honesty, and unwavering commitment to your principles. But here's the dark truth. Integrity comes with a cost. It will cost you deals. It will cost you relationships. It will cost you shortcuts and easy wins. But what it gives you in return is worth everything. Respect, loyalty, and a legacy that cannot be tarnished. Ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? Do you want to be another name in a long line of manipulators? Someone who rose quickly only to fall just as fast? Or do you want to be someone who stands the test of time? Someone whose name is synonymous with trust, with honor, with success earned the right way? The world will tempt you to compromise. It will whisper that ethics are for the weak, that integrity is a luxury you can't afford. But those whispers are lies. The strongest businesses, the strongest relationships, the strongest legacies, they are built on trust. And trust is built on integrity. So when the moment comes, and it will come, when you are faced with a choice between what is easy and what is right, remember this. Success built on lies is no success at all. Wealth without honor is a burden, not a gift. And power gained without integrity is power that will destroy you. Live with integrity. Fight for it. Protect it. Let it guide every decision, every action, every relationship. Because in the end, it is not your wealth, your titles, or your possessions that define you. It is your character. It is the trust you've earned, the values you've upheld, the legacy you leave behind. Integrity is not just the right way. It is the only way. So stand firm, stay true, and build a life, a business, a legacy that will endure long after you are gone. Because in a world full of lies, the truth is power. And that power forged in ethics and integrity is unstoppable. And there you have it, GrimFace Warriors. These aren't just lessons, they're blueprints for domination. Warren Buffett didn't just master the market, he mastered the mindset, the discipline, and the values it takes to thrive when the odds are stacked against you. The same tools are now in your hands, if you're ready to use them. Remember, this isn't just about financial growth. It's about reshaping your life, your decisions, your legacy. It's about rejecting the system's lies and reclaiming control over your future. These lessons are your weapons. Don't let them gather dust. Act on them. Build. Dominate. Rise. To our GrimFace family, old and new, thank you for walking this path with us. This movement isn't just about individuals, it's about us. Together we rise, together we learn, and together we create a world where knowledge isn't a privilege, but a right. If you're ready to keep growing, keep learning, and keep fighting, make sure you subscribe to the GrimFace channels and hit that notification bell. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're building this movement together, and every voice matters. Until next time, stay relentless, stay disciplined, and never forget, the system wants you weak, but we were born to defy. This is GrimFace, and we rise together.